Hello, good people. Welcome to the PeriodGiving Podcast, a podcast by the PeriodGiving Collective, where we celebrate generosity as a force for menstrual justice and social change. There's a lot of generosity powering the menstrual justice movement. We see time given, we see talent shared, we see money raised, we see stories told, but also we see products created with care, and yet often this generosity goes unseen. The PeriodGiving Collective exists to change that. We are a growing movement bringing together activists, teachers, artists, aunties, brothers, neighbors, policymakers, young girls themselves, all united by one belief: that no one should experience shame, exclusion, or missed opportunity because of their period. Because, again, period giving, we believe, is more than donating just a part, but it's breaking the silence. It's about the dignity. It's about the care within the community. It's really about shifting power and building systems that truly work for girls and people who menstruate. And the one thing that we deeply care about as a period giving collective is that kindness can definitely be a disruptor. Generosity can also be activism, and everyday actions can create extraordinary change. And now, we are bringing these stories to the mic. I am Lisa Marie Kawoya, your host, and today's episode is titled Period Giving on the Move. Today, we are joined by the incredible Hope Nankunda from Uganda. She is the executive director of Raising Teenagers Uganda, the powerhouse organization behind the annual Hike for Girls Uganda movement, where communities hike, they mobilize sanitary pads, they raise awareness and stand up for girls' dignity and education. Hope, welcome to the Period Giving Podcast.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It's an honor to be here, and I look forward to having a wonderful conversation with you and with everyone that is listening out there.
Thank you so much, Hope, also for giving us your time and also being here. So just diving into it, Hope, please tell us, for those that are hearing about Hope, and of course, everyone does know Hope. For those hearing about you for the very first time, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Hope Nankunda Mijuka is my name. I am a mother of 3 daughters. Daughters that are all teenagers, so I am raising teenagers even in my home. I lead an organization called Raising Teenagers Uganda, which I started in 2014. So we are about to make a dozen years of serving communities and reaching out to girls everywhere to be able to support them to stay in school and complete their education by all means. I am a teacher by profession. I am a guidance counselor by profession. I work mainly with adolescents, and the reason why I work with adolescents is because I don't want any young person to lose out on their dream just because during their teenage years nobody reached out to them to guide them on how they can deal with the teenage moments, because many times things get confused around there. So I work directly with teenagers because I want them to have someone to guide them as they transition from childhood to adulthood. And I mainly work to ensure that every girl is able to access education, stay in school, complete education, and get married when they are ready and when they want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hope, for highlighting that. I love the fact, and of course, the heartbeat of most of the work we do is to see that girls are able to have access to education. They are able to stay in school, complete, and then be able to make choices or informed choices that they want and not forced on them. So thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for the amazing work you're doing at Raising Teenagers Uganda. And I would love to ask, for people hearing about Hike for Girls Uganda for the first time, what is it and what inspired Raising Teenagers Uganda to start turning hikes into a movement for menstrual justice?
Okay, thank you. Like I said, that I'm a teacher by profession. So my very first interaction with the young girls was when I was a teacher, and I would actually watch some girls miss school some days every month, and it caught my attention. While many people think that girls may miss school because of menstruation, and because of lack of sanitary pads, I realized that that wasn't the problem. Even those who were from rich families and could access sanitary pads felt safer if they stayed home during the season when they are in their periods, just to be safe and know that in case they stay in their dress, nobody will know. After 3 or 4 days, then they'll go back to school and maybe come up with a story that either my uncle was sick, my auntie was sick, my mommy was not home. But all the reason was around menstruation, for them to feel safe because they're in their own corridors. No boy will see them in class in case they messed up, or no teacher will see a stained dress. So it's an issue that really made me realize that it's not about access, it's also about safety. And that fact that they were missing school really disturbed me a lot. And I must tell you, Lisa, that was the reason why I went back to school myself to do counseling, because originally I was a teacher, but I felt I was doing so much work on guiding girls on why they shouldn't miss school. Then I would have to look out for their parents to say, please encourage these girls not to miss school, because every day that a child misses school, learning continues, and many times it affects their performance at the end of the term. So I wanted to see a world where every child, boy and girl, can go to class every day of the term and be able to compete favorably. So I later had to start Raising Teenagers Uganda because I realized that many girls wanted a one-on-one talk, conversation. These are issues that many parents do not have with their children. So I started the organization, and as I moved around schools giving children one-on-one talks or group talks about menstruation and why they must keep in school even when they're menstruating, I then came across those that were not able to access sanitary pads. And now that was even more painful. So for the period of between 2014 to around 2016, I would just get some few of my savings, buy some pads, and have them in my car. Every time I would move to school, I would look out for those who are stuck, and I would give them some pads. But every time I would give some people, some other girls would be wanting, and I wouldn't have enough. So later, after about 2 years, like, why should I carry this burden alone when I know that everyone out there understands what menstruation is, either has a girl in their home or has an auntie or a mother, so they can appreciate why it's important to support as many girls as possible. And that is when I started, I came up with an idea of hiking for girls. And this was because I wanted to have an activity that doesn't only ask you to give, but it gives you an opportunity to enjoy your country. We realize that many people are in their areas. They don't ever move out to see how Uganda is, which mountains are where, which rivers are where. So I was like, we could put a component of tourism. And then when they come to see these places, we ask them, by the way, as you come to hike this mountain, you could support a girl in this area to menstruate with dignity. And that is how we started in 2017. We started with Mountain Muhavula in Kisoro district. I remember that very first hike had about 40 hikers. And it was incredible, because now people are like, I have a reason to hike, and that was it. That's how it's all started.
Well, and that is almost 10 years. Because,
Yes.
almost. Actually,
We're
next year you'll
celebrating
be
10 years
making
next
10.
year. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Could you share
Yeah.
probably how that has evolved from, 2017? Have you been able to see some changes? Because I know when
Mm,
initiatives start, especially
mm,
the very first time you said you had 40 hikers and you were
mm.
starting, but now 9 years down the road, you're making nine this time around. What are those different things that have evolved around this particular
Yeah.
initiative?
Thank you so much, Lisa. At the beginning, while we opened it up to just well wishers, to partner organizations to join us for hiking, we realized that more other companies along the way started saying, "Oh, what is this? Why are people hiking mountains? What's
Yeah.
happening in the mountains?"
Yes.
And then you would see. I remember 2 years later, we got Lato Uganda
Yeah.
support all the hikers and say, anyone going to hike, we are going to give you milk so
Yeah.
that everyone in the mountain can have something to drink.
Mm.
Um, we got Pep Scholar joined us and said, oh, whenever you're going to hike, please, we are bringing along drinks for
Oh
everyone coming
wow.
to hike. And
Yeah.
that is because they understood the cause and they felt they wanted to be part and parcel of the growing movement.
Yeah.
When we are saying we are breaking stigma around menstruation, that's our slogan right from the time we started.
Yes.
Breaking stigma around menstruation.
Mm.
When we go to these mountains in different parts of the country, we don't just hike. We work with local leaders. They mobilize for us, parents, local leaders, the girls, and some of them join us to hike because you want them to own it up. But also while they are hiking, we hold conversations, one-on-one talks. Why are we hiking? Why have we come all the way from Kampala to come to Kisoro to
Yes.
hike? So we explain to these girls one-on-one, and they appreciate that it's not all over. Many times these girls need encouragement, and just by walking with this girl to the peak and you have that conversation encouraging her, don't allow periods to get you out of school, please, you have to stay focused onto your education. And then we would come back down and now distribute all the pads that we have raised, because every person who comes to the hike makes a contribution toward the sanitary pad. So
Yeah.
when we are going to give out the pads to the girls, all the partners are present and they own this moment. And
Yeah.
I think that is what sets it apart. Like, we want everyone to own it and know it is not about raising teenagers, Uganda. All
Yeah.
we do is bring people together, but we want all of them to own the moment as we
Mm.
give out these goodies to the girls.
Yeah.
Now, along the way, we also saw parents get concerned and
Mm.
come and ask questions. There are times when they would ask, of all things, you hike for menstruation. They get so shocked, like, because there are things they never used to talk about. You
Yes.
you talk about it in hiding. No
Mm.
one should know that you're bleeding. And we said, yes, we want everyone to know that menstruation is here to stay, but we can't allow it to keep girls out of school. We
Yes.
can't allow it to make parents think that as soon as this girl starts her period, then she's ready for marriage. We want to
Mm.
educate communities to understand that this is just part of human life. It
Yeah.
should not describe what stage or what they're supposed to do as soon as they see their periods, because between me and you, we still have communities that believe if a girl sees her first period, then the next period should find her in her husband's house.
Yeah.
Now, for us to break such beliefs and social norms, we
Mm.
can only do it if we come directly on the ground and hold conversations with the parents so
Yeah.
that they can appreciate the importance of keeping these girls in school, but also importance of providing. You see, when we provide what we take, it's not enough for the girl,
Mm-hmm.
because we could support them maybe for like 6 months.
Yeah.
But after that, we are not going back to give them more. So we want
Mm.
parents to own it up and know, or someone came to help me with my daughter, but this is my responsibility. So
Yes.
we educate parents to take it on as their responsibility to provide for their daughters and ensure that they attend school every day of the term, just like the boys do.
Yes. And Hope, I love that it's a whole ecosystem that you have built, having to engage communities, the parents, the leaders to talk about the periods, but also showing them that we are coming in with several other people to support the girls, but this is your responsibility and this is how you are supposed to carry it on, but also emphasizing that this is something that is part of life and it's here to stay, and we need to normalize it. So, Hope, there's something I've been curious about. And of course, we know that movements like this carry so many powerful human moments. I do remember watching one of the clips where a team from CIFSOS and I think and other people, and then also a group of some little girls while you were hiking, and then you were singing, and it created some kind of rhythm. And I know that there's so many unforgettable moments that happen. But I'm curious to know, what has been one of the most emotional and unforgettable moments you have experienced during the hike event?
This will take me to the hike that we had in Karamoja. That was in 2021. It was a time when the country was about to announce a lockdown. But we had prepared. I kept the faith and I said, we are going to hike for girls. COVID will not stop us. And we went. I remember we took 2 buses from Kampala to Karamoja, Moroto district, and we were hiking Mount Moroto. One unforgettable moment for that whole trip was that we organized it in such a way that we would have a group. Normally, I open it up because it's one thing for people to register to hike. I'm also mindful that there are people who love the activity but can't hike up to the peak. So I always encourage people, please hike, stop where you feel you're tired and come back down. So I always make that option so that people still love the experience. I don't want a situation where people are forced to go up to the peak and it's difficult to even come down. So that time we did Moroto, we did 2 peaks, one that was half day and another one that was full day. So those that were hiking full day would miss out on the school event, but those who did half day would finish at 2, go to the school, meet the girls and have a conversation, and then we give out the sanitary pads. And then the team that went for the full day hike, and they were very excited, and they were many. They went to hike, and it reached around 10 in the night, and they had not returned.
Wow.
At some point, I was like, oh my God, Hope, are you doing the right thing? Aren't you putting people's lives in danger, And then I started thinking about Moroto, Karamoja, the Raiders and everything. I'm telling you, Lisa, I got so worried.
Yes. I can
but
only imagine.
Yeah, and when the first person to get to the base down, I think got down at around 10:30 in the night.
The first
And that's
person.
when he could get network, because there was no network in the mountain, so I couldn't get them on phone.
Hey.
So when he called me, I said, I am at the base, but most of the people are still sloping. And that was, it is late in the night. So it really, really got me worried. But still, I kept thinking, this is for a good cause. So I kept talking to God and telling him, God, you know why we are here. We can't get in danger. We can't get stranded. So I think they arrived at the hotel by around midnight, all of them. all of them were able to come down, but I'm telling you, that was the most challenging moment of
I
the
can
hikes
imagine.
I
I can
have
imagine.
arranged. At that time, I remember coming back and telling my friend, I said, this is the last hike we are organizing. We can't put people's lives in danger.
Yes.
But then the next year, like before you even start planning, people are writing to you, when is the next hike?
When
And the
is
people who are
the
stuck in the mountains are the ones asking, Hope, you're not telling us, give us the program. So it's been a journey that keeps one wondering, like, how
yeah.
do you do all this and still remain so grounded?
Yeah.
So that's one it's one moment that got me challenged, but it never broke me, and it never broke the hikers.
Yeah. And I think those are the stories that you carry and you're like, um, well, it was midnight, but people were out there for the counts. And
Yeah.
they were there, really. So it means that even the period, because basically they are period givers, they are giving of their time, they are giving of
Mm-hmm.
their money. They are, but they're doing it while they're having fun. But I don't think at midnight they were having fun at
They
that
were
time.
not. Of course.
But yes, the
Yeah.
fact that they were there and even still really hyped for the next one just really shows how much people, Ugandans, are givers and are willing to give. So thank you so much for highlighting that, Hope, which takes me to this year's hike. We've just
Mm-hmm.
gone down memory lane, just one of
Mm-hmm.
the most scary ones that you've had. But now we're going into we're going
Yeah.
into anticipating what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
in August, which is very exciting. I love I love the theme that you've given it this year, which is philanthropy on the move. It really did inspire this episode's title to period giving on the move, but
Mm-hmm.
which is really the same.
Yes.
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 But what I want to understand, what can people expect? How can individuals and organizations get involved? We have a few months to it. What
Mm-hmm.
exactly can they do? How can we rally each and everyone to be hiking, to come in? And even though they can't hike, how can they
Mm-hmm.
support? How can they amplify
Yeah.
this in any way that they
Thank you.
can?
Thank you, Lisa. The hikes keep getting popular. I must start by saying that last year we had the best, and that's why I saw girls singing in the mountains. Like every year, something
Yeah.
new comes. So last year we went to Tororo Rock, and it was really exciting. We had about 88 organizations. That was so amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Now, this year we are going to Kisoro again. We are going to Kisoro for the third time.
Wow.
We have done Muhavula, it was a pioneer mountain. In 2023, we did Sabinyo, and now we are going for the third one, which is the last one, Mugahinga.
Yeah.
It's open for everyone that believes in the cause, which is breaking stigma around menstruation. And people can come in many different ways. One, they can come and hike. They can join us. We set off together on 31st July. We are day one is for travel. Kisoro, you start here in the morning at 6 and you reach Kisoro at 6 in the evening. So it's a full day of travel.
Yeah.
Then hike first, and then after the hike, we go to the school and support the girls with the sanitary pads we shall have raised. And on Sunday 2nd, we return back to Kampala. There are people who could be wanting to hike, but not necessarily have to go with us on the bus. They want to drive their private cars and find their own accommodation. They are also welcome. So people who want to come and still, we've been meeting Kisoro at the base of the mountain. We are happy to find you there. We also we are in talks with Red Cross to be able to mobilize for us the local hikers in Kisoro, so that everywhere we go, we get a local organization that supports with the ground mobilization. Because one, wherever we go, we don't work there, we don't know schools there, we don't know which girls are doing badly. So it's important that we get local partners to help us identify beneficiaries, to help us locate which radio stations we can use, because wherever we go, we want to talk to the people on the radio stations and tell them why we are in their area. We go there and speak and share and get welcome to their area zones. People who can't hike with us can still support others to hike. So you can still make a contribution and support other girls or other maybe staff members to come and hike for girls. But also, if you cannot do any of that, you can still buy sanitary products, give them to us. We deliver them to the girls on your behalf. There you'd still have supported the cause. If you can't buy sanitary pads, you can still buy water for the hikers. Like you can't fail to find a way to support. You can get us water. Companies with drinks can give us drinks. People with snacks. Last year we were shocked by one young gentleman who went and baked and even branded the cookies and the snacks with Hike for Girls, and he delivered to us free of charge. I was really overwhelmed by the kind of generosity that is filled with the hearts of people. So everyone can be able to do something to be part of this movement, because at the end of the day, when every girl is able to menstruate with dignity and attend school daily, together we are making the world a better place. And when we look back and see what we have done, it's normally a good feeling. So I would encourage many people to join the cause, join in any way you can. Let us run the movement. Let us rock this world and make menstruation better, because it is here to stay. It is not going anywhere.
Yes. And thank you so much for highlighting that. I hope as you are listening, you know exactly what to do. Come and hike. You have to come and hike. And then, in case you cannot come and hike, come in, you can send your contributions to directly buy products for these girls. Do we have a target fundraising number or?
Yes, there is a fundraiser. Like the girls we are planning to support?
Yes.
Yeah, in Kisoro, this year we want to reach out to 800 girls.
Okay.
If we can get products that can support 800 girls in Kisoro, we would be very, very delighted. And we are hopeful.
Okay.
We are hopeful that we shall get that.
Okay. So you've had that from Hope. We are coming in to support 800 girls. In fact, we'll be able to support even 1,000. So let's come in big numbers. Let's overwhelm. But also at the other point, if you cannot hike, if you're unable to also send direct contribution, giving is not only about money. And I think you've seen that. If you're baking, if you are water bottling company in any way, something of that sort, you can come in to support those that are hiking. There's lots of water, there are lots of drinks that are needed, even maybe food or something of that sort. You know someone, pass on the message. Let's come in, let's make this hike, the hike of 2026, bigger and even better. And now finally, Hope, for someone listening right now who wants to become a period giver, I know we have actually talked about how they can give in any way, but this time in their own community, where should they start?
Okay. When you want to be a period giver, it starts with the heart. You must have it in your heart that you want to intentionally give to help make periods better for girls. So if you are in your community and you want to make a difference, you choose to start with a neighborhood. For example, you know, there are people who I remember there are times when people would say, we want to work with you, we want to do what you do. You know, they would write to me like they want to come where I am and they do what I do with me. And I'm like, you see, the girls I'm supporting, even in your neighborhood, you have so many girls that need that support. So while we can connect online and support each other, you can still do that work in your neighborhood. You could be based in Chotera, and the girls in that area need the pads. We have never been there. So you want to give. You can start by saying, let me mobilize the people within the neighborhood where I'm staying, and we start with a school nearest to us so that you make it part of you. Because sometimes people are limited because they have not been guided on how to give. And I always tell people that if we do not ask, the answer will always be no. So what I want to challenge everyone out there to think or to do is to say, if you want to be a period giver, it starts with you and it starts today. Just reach out to the community where you are. I'm telling you, there are girls who are desperate. There are girls who are being
Yeah.
abused just because they must exchange their bodies for
Yeah.
sanitary pads. If you go to the schools in the neighborhood, they will tell you girls who miss school every month because of the periods. So start where you are and watch how you transform your community.
Thank you so much, Hope, for that. And wow. Hope, thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much for joining us today and for reminding
Yeah.
us that sometimes movements are built one step, one hike, one act of
Mm-hmm.
generosity at a time. And to
Yeah.
everyone listening, this is your reminder that you do not have to wait to make a difference. And just like Hope has shared, whether you
Mm.
are donating pads, you're creating safe spaces for these girls, you're speaking openly about periods, you're supporting local organizations, or simply listening with compassion, you are part of this movement too. So, that's it for
Mm-hmm.
today's episode, where we celebrate generosity as a tool for menstrual justice. And if you love this episode, share it with someone doing quiet but powerful work in your community. Tag us at Period Giving on Instagram, but also use the hashtag Period Giving to keep the conversation going. If you are period giving in any way, it could be hiking, it could be, going into a school and having these conversations, please tag us and let's amplify this story of giving in menstrual work. And remember, that giving is powerful, giving is political, and giving is personal. And in this movement, giving is how we win. So, catch you
Yeah.
next time. Thank you so much.